Yo, what's going on? Mike from Mike Talk Sports. So Cam Newton just threw at Auburn's pro day. Let me tell you guys why Cam Newton is one of the most delusional athletes on planet Earth at the moment. So Cam Newton is really showing his true colors lately, not only on his podcast, but also in the media. So he just basically said to the media, there's no way there's 32 quarterbacks that are better than me at the moment. And more importantly, he said, tell me how these randoms keep getting jobs. This is a great inside look at the delusion of Cam Newton and really the privilege of Cam Newton. Cam Newton, why do I say he's privileged? Cam Newton grew up with this incredible skill set and ability that really had him untouched his entire life. Cam Newton's a guy who could coast through high school, not try at all, get into an incredible college like Florida, basically get kicked out of Florida. He can go to another college, build up his name, get recruited by Auburn, have an incredible career at Auburn, win the Heisman Trophy, be the number one pick in the draft, win an MVP award, be the starting quarterback on an incredible Super Bowl team that almost won the Super Bowl, right? He has all these accolades and all this God-given talent. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to act like Cam Newton wasn't a hard worker at some point, and I'm not going to act like he's not working hard right now at the moment to get back into the NFL, but Cam Newton all his life has been told by every single person in his life. He's been surrounded by yes men, and they've all told him, Cam Newton, you're the best. And at one point in time, these weren't really yes men, and these people were actually telling him the truth, because Cam Newton at one point was the most physically gifted quarterback we've ever seen enter the NFL. He's huge. He has a great frame. He had a cannon for an arm, but nowadays this is all gone. He's currently 33 years old, and he's going to be 34 years old at the beginning of the 2023 season. And Cam Newton legitimately thinks he's a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL. First off, if you're a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL, why won't you humble yourself? Go to the XFL, be by far the best player in the XFL, be a man among boys, and just ball out and prove to everybody that you still could play at a high level. Cam Newton would never do that because his ego is so massive to the point where he would never humble himself and play in an NFL G League, basically. But this is what Cam Newton needs to do if he wants to get back into the NFL, and I don't think he's entirely serious about going into the NFL. It seems as though he rather play the victim and scream to the media, I don't understand why I'm not in the NFL. They're blackballing me out of the NFL, rather than actually make seismic changes and improvements to your game in order to get to the NFL. If he was entirely serious about going to the NFL, he'd be playing in the XFL when they first started up again. But really getting into this point and why Cam Newton is not a top 60, 70 quarterback on earth right now. I know that's a crazy claim to make, but let me explain to you guys a backup quarterback in the NFL and what makes a backup quarterback in the NFL so good. Let me name you guys like Cooper Rush, Gardner Minshew, Brock Purdy, Jarrett Stidham, Trevor Siemian. These guys are all significantly better than Cam Newton. I'll go down the line. Cooper Rush, he exemplifies why a backup quarterback is so good. A backup quarterback needs to have some qualities that are better than the starter. What is the main quality a backup quarterback needs to have over the starter? It's their brain, it's their mind, it's their processing of the game, not only processing the defense on a play-to-play basis, really helping out the offensive coordinator and the quarterback on Sundays and in the film room in between weeks preparing for the team, but more importantly, it's knowing the playbook like the back of your hand. I think a great example of a great backup is a guy like Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore was the backup in Dallas for a very long time. Kellen Moore got a coaching job right away. He was a quarterback coach right away, and he parlayed that into an offensive coordinator job when he was in his 30s. He's about Cam Newton's age when he got an offensive coordinator job, and now he's the offensive coordinator of the Chargers. Who else? Mike Kafka, a career backup quarterback with the Eagles, a career backup with the Giants. He becomes a quarterback coach like that. Then he becomes the offensive coordinator of the Giants so quickly. This is what a backup quarterback is. He's an extension of the coach. And this is something Cam Newton will never be able to get through his mind, and why Cam Newton is a horrible, unrosterable backup is because he has no knowledge of the game. His knowledge of the game is so poor. Nothing exemplifies this more than 2020 and 2021. This was his last chance at being in the NFL. He was on the Patriots. He got signed really quickly and had to turn around and start for the Patriots in 2020. I completely understand him not grasping the playbook fully. In 2021, it was absolutely inexcusable why he got cut by the Patriots. So the Patriots brought him in after 2020, said, you know what? You came in on a short notice. We're going to give you another chance. You're going to try out during training camp. You're going to be with us in preseason, and you're going to back up Mac Jones potentially. Maybe you can even beat him out for a starter. The stories coming out about Mac Jones, a rookie who's had the playbook for 1 month, Mac Jones teaching Cam Newton, a 10-year NFL veteran, a guy who's been in the system for not only a year, but has been in the NFL learning NFL playbooks for the last 10 years. A rookie quarterback is teaching him the playbook. This right here is the number one reason why Cam Newton will never be a good backup in the NFL in his entire life. Not because his physical ability has dropped off to a significant margin, which it has. Not that he can't throw the ball 15 yards anymore without the accuracy being all over the place, which is true. Not because his arm talent has completely fallen off a cliff and his shoulder is just beat to all hell, which it is. It's because of his mind of the game. You don't have to be that good of a backup. I don't care, Cam Newton, if you're more physically talented than Gardner Minshew. I don't care if you're more physically talented than Brock Purdy or Jarrett Stidham or Trevor Siemian. These guys process the game light years ahead of you. You need in the quarterback room on Mondays, on Tuesdays, on Wednesdays, you need your backup quarterback to be a Colt McCoy. You need him to be a significant contributor to the game plan for the up and coming week. Cam Newton is a guy who's going to arrive on time and he's going to leave right when practice ends. He's not a guy who's going to be putting in the hours in the film room, really helping the starting quarterback. And this is the job of a backup. And this is something that Cam Newton and other people who don't understand why Cam Newton's not in the NFL or why Colin Kaepernick's not in the NFL. This is what people don't understand. Guys like Gardner Minshew, Brock Purdy, Jarrett Stidham, again, Trevor Siemian, Cooper Rush. I'm naming these guys for a reason. They're significantly less talented from a physical talent perspective than Cam Newton, but they're significantly better backup quarterbacks. Every guy I just named, no doubt in my mind, a year after they retire in the NFL, they could no doubt get a coaching job, not only in college, but in the NFL. Cam Newton, no one would touch Cam Newton with a 10-foot pole in terms of a coaching job. What college team is giving Cam Newton an offensive coordinator job? What team in the NFL is giving Cam Newton a quarterback coaching job? Cam Newton is a guy who is realistically coasted off of his talent. Again, is Cam Newton a hardworking guy? I genuinely believe he is. He has a crazy good physique. Obviously, he's a physical talent and he's a physical specimen. In order to win the Heisman, be the number one pick in the draft, you have to have somewhat of a work ethic. I completely understand. But the fact that he just cannot grasp an NFL playbook in 2023, that is the reason why he's not in the NFL. This isn't Madden. It's real life. You need to have a mind for the game. Cam Newton is absolutely delusional, sadly, and he's really killing his legacy. He just needs to ride off into the sunset and really reflect on an incredible career that he did have. His career is nothing to scoff at, and he should legitimately be proud of his career.